Hello everybody, Craft here with another StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm commentary. This is a 2 versus 2 and it's a replay cast, and you know when I cast replay casts, they're going to be good games, unlike live casts where I just play the first game I cast and then I just stick it online and hope it's a good one. But anyway, the teams here are myself and Gion, the red Protoss. Why don't I have my thing up here? Oh, that's because it's not a live cast. I'm not very smart. How do I check the player names? I don't even know. Against, in the top left, Felix as the teal Protoss and Battlestar as the purple Terran. Now, I believe these guys are an arranged team, whereas myself and my partner are a random team. I think it's possible to get paired up against arranged teams when you're a random team. But anyway, it's a CVP versus a TVP. The map is, I don't fucking know, Battlestar Galactica or something. I don't really care what the map is. But it's really long. That's what you can see. It's got a nice natural out here. Big ramp that my ally doesn't look like he's going to try to wall that off. It makes more sense for Terran to wall it off. It's kind of difficult for Protoss to do it successfully. So I don't really mind that he's not doing it right now. Looks like our opponents are going to be scouting in the proper direction. There's just a single tower in the middle on this map. And despite how close this spawn is to this spawn, you can spawn here. Like, my enemies can spawn here. I'm sending my overlord north though, so good guess by me. Instead of going right, I'm going north. Gonna be scouting them pretty fast there. 15 out of 18, sending out my drone for an expansion. This probe is not interested in the least in denying that expansion. He's gonna attack this gateway and said, "Probe, you crazy. Crazy probe." 5 damage at a 1.5 speed on that probe. Meanwhile, Gion or Glon, maybe it's Glon, let's call him Glon, is going to get some scouting in, see the gateway, the barracks, no forge fast expand, nothing crazy. Seeing this gas is one of the most important things that you can do as you're scouting. Oh, and a nice surround from Battlestar, getting in 2 rounds of attacks from 4 SCVs, dealing 40 damage and fatally blowing that poor little probe. So the gas is way, holy shit, he's already mined 120 gas. The gas is way before this barracks. That's like almost too much before the barracks is finished. So he's going to be able to actually throw down a reactor and a factory all at once, so I guess he's timing that just perfectly. 150, you can see him pulling SCVs off now. Not even going to start his orbital command. He's going to worry more about the factory and the reactor here. Down they go, waiting for a couple more minerals, and there's the orbital command. Why am I focusing so much on that Terran player? Cybernetics core coming down for Glon, as well as an expansion for myself, and some gas. So on this map, against Terran Protoss, I like to go Mass Ling, but Mass Ling's kind of out of the picture. I like to go Mass Ling against anything, unless there's Banelings, unless there are Hellions. Against Toss, Mass Ling's actually pretty good, depending on how many sentries they have. In team games, you don't often see many sentries, and if there are sentries, you don't see a lot of good force fields. So hopefully I'll scout this tech or reactor factory. I'm assuming that's a reactor, yeah. And choose not to go. Do I have any sounds on? I think so, yeah. There we go. And choose not to go Lings. I do have my speed about to start here in a second if we check out the Harvester tab. Haven't had a chance to really kick it in yet. This little Ling wants to follow this cute little sentry. Oh, that's so adorable. He just wants to tag along. What a dumbass. This Overlord's just kind of hanging out, and Felix can see this quite easily. Looks like we do have a Zealot killing Felix's gas here, so that's probably annoying a little bit for Glon. And this probe is going to get away from Felix. A couple more Lings just coming out. Looks like I have 6 Lings total, or 4 Lings total. 1 being pulled off the tower. You need to go back to the tower, little Ling. That's what happens to a bad Ling who doesn't do his job. You get toasted. Yeah, I got 1 shot on that Hellion. This Ling's probably going to die too. No, run to the right. You're not going to make it. Oh, what? Oh, oh, go to the left. No, go to the left. Stalker going to save him. Oh my gosh, the Stalker's going to save him. Oh, damn. That would have been awesome. So it looks like he's busting this down to create a nice little wall. That's really smart if he's going to be taking a fast expansion. Destroy the cooling tower, it drops down and creates a 2,000 HP barricade. This Stalker just getting some shots in, and that's actually pretty substantial, especially if the Hellions... What the hell? What the hell was that? I gotta go back to that. That was really weird. What the shit? Okay, okay. I'm sorry. Oh, man. This game, man, this game. More Hellions coming out for the Terran. Have I transitioned out of the Lings yet? Looks like I am preparing to get Roaches. I do have a Spine, so I've seen the Hellions been able to react to the Spine. Nice little barricade there. And that's not only going to protect his expansion, but the Hellions are forced to come this way when they're going to our base. They can't go around here up the ramp. So that's a pretty big move by my ally. I definitely wouldn't have done that. I'm not bad at this game. And at this point, I see these guys moving in with so many Hellions and a Stalker, and I'm like, oh shit, my roaches aren't going to come in time. I better get a bunch of Lings. So I'm just frantically producing Lings, although I do have a Spine, so that would help a lot. But then I realized they're actually not coming. They're actually expanding. So that Ling was maybe a bit, that Ling Surge was a bit preemptive. But, you know, I want to be safer than sorry, and my harvester count's still 5. I'm up by like 7 or 8 on all of them. And what do we have here? Immortal Sentry Stalker drop. Very cool little play here. Have they seen our expansion? No, they haven't. So will he choose to go for probes for the Nexus? We're going to see here. He does spot this Nexus. I think he's going to be going for that. Meanwhile, the Hellions coming in as well. 1, 2 force fields. And some Spines and some Lings going to be taking down most of these Hellions. Another one of those Hellions going down. Meanwhile, this drop looks like he's going to be focusing this gateway, warping in 1 sentry. No, he already had the sentry. Force fielding twice to protect his Zealots. This is a pretty awesome play. I gotta say, Glon really needs to get in the back and kill that Immortal. That's what's doing the critical damage to this Nexus. And somehow, with just like 5 Zealots, a sentry, and an Immortal, he takes down the gateway. Warping from Glon coming a little bit late, not able to get that War Prism before it runs away. And as a result, Glon is going to be mining my Expo, which I oh so politely pointed out to him. So I mean, it wasn't a huge blow to him. He lost the Nexus, but he didn't lose a lot of probes. He's still doing good, 33 on the probe count, and I'm still mining nice and heavily. Looks like I have started my lair. My Roach Warren is up, so now I'm going to be producing roaches. Some Lings here, trying to deny an expansion. Pinging, telling Glon, get off of my minerals. I really need to start up 3 on this gas too. 2 is not cutting it, not even remotely. We're going to see what I do advance to with my lair tech. I like to get 20 on each. Whoa, what's going on here? Some Lings taking out a Hellion and a tank. That was kind of a scouting battalion, but it was kind of a big scouting battalion. I don't think you want to spend like 500 minerals just scouting. Or like, it was more like 300 minerals, but whatever. It's okay. I'm a professional StarCraft player, so take my word for it. Yeah, anyway. It looks like I have fixed my gas here. Meanwhile, we have Glon going for a couple forges, so he's going to be going heavy gateway play, it looks like, with lots of upgrades. The Terran player, heavy tank, double, heavy tank, heavy mech, double tech lab, single reactor, and the Toss with not quite the best economy, going for a Robo Bay, so he's going to try to support with some long-range Colossi, and they're going to have a heavy, very scary ground force, tanks and Colossi, and what am I getting? An infestation pit. Now, if you guys watched my last 2v2, I was kind of saying how it's really difficult for Zerg to be a presence in the mid to late game without just going T3, but it's hard to go T3 because there's so many units on the map and your bases get denied and so on. But there is another unit. It's not just the Infestor. The Swarm Host can be pretty damn good in 2v2s. However, their composition, mass tanks with Colossi, I'm assuming, to be coming, that's going to be pretty scary against Locust. Locust can't really deal with that too well. These roaches doing some scouting. Looks like I do pull back. I probably could have... Oh boy, we have another drop. 3 more Zealots, 2 more Immortals. Is he going to be able to save it? These sentries need to get... There we go. Move your forces in there in attack mood. Attack move. Is the Immortal going to go down? Yes, it does. 1 more Immortal. Nice. Defends it pretty nicely, although at the same time, Battlestar going into his natural, or his second base, I should say. And what am I doing during all of this? Not a whole lot. Getting some Swarm Hosts and the Locust upgrade and the Roach speed, but other than that, not helping my partner out too much. I should have known that, I mean, they did this last time. They moved in with Hellions at the same time as dropping. And this is kind of how you know that these guys are in a ranged team, how they know each other. They're able to coordinate these kinds of attacks and get a lot out of such a small number of units. So, if we check out the income though, I'm still way ahead of everyone else, but now Glon has fallen behind because of that nice little drop and that Hellion run by. Where was I at, man? Where was I at? I'm sorry, Glon. Meanwhile, a couple spines going up in both of my bases. I do not want any drops of Immortals on top of me. More Swarm Hosts coming out. That's going to be really what I focus on. It's just lots of Swarm Hosts, apply lots of pressure, and hopefully take these bases as we do that. Meanwhile, Battlestar checking for any hidden expansions, and Glon moving out right into some tank fire. We got 8 tanks, 9 tanks now, 1 unsieged, and here come my Swarm Hosts, but 9 tanks, man, they're not going to do anything against those tanks. These Locusts are. They got +1, +1, +2 on the way. They can almost get an attack, and it's pretty close. Able to bait that Widowmine shot, so that's pretty cool, I guess, but I don't think my production of my Swarm Hosts can keep up with how fast these tanks kill them and how many tanks he's producing. 4 more tanks on the way. Holy cow, this guy's got 4 factories. Where are they all at? Oh, here they are. Jesus. 5 factories total, 4 of them having tech labs. So I really need something to try to push this tank line. I can get some, maybe some mutas? Oh my gosh, they have like no anti-air. If only I went mutas instead. Mutas would be fine until some Thors come. Just as I say that, here's 2 Thors on the way. Partner's just going for some gateway units, it seems. Some Storm, Zealot Charge, and the Teal Protoss. What's he doing? Observer. He's probably just going to be focused on robotics. Now, they don't have a lot of anti-air until those Thors get out. And if I did tech the Broodlords, that might be a pretty good response. But as you can see, 5 more Swarm Hosts on the way. I'm pretty committed to that. These little locusts are so cute. How can I help it? Storm on the way. Now, Storm is... I don't know how good Storm is going to do against such long-range units like the Colossi and tanks. And, I mean, they're a lot better against Bio, Zerg units that have low amount of health. But this is... I don't know, man. This isn't the greatest army to storm. We'll see what we can do. Hive on the way. My 3rd base is up and running. Still trying to get some damage into these locusts. Not a whole lot happening though. Now when you see my hive, you should either expect to see a spire, which would indicate that I'm timing my hive to start a greater spire, or you should see you know, something being produced immediately after my hive completes. Oh boy, don't push these guys in there, you bad locusts. So because you don't see anything, I'm either going to be going Ultras or Vipers, I guess. Vipers an option, I suppose. Vipers would be pretty good against these tanks and these Colossi. Help the Locusts get some damage, and these guys just kind of chill. And they might have actually done something that time. The tanks weren't too close to protect them. Got a bit scared there, moving back, taking a 4th base. This Hellion is going to spot it, this weak Hellion. And now that Glon has some energy, he's going to push up and try to support me with a pylon. Now, we haven't been communicating at all this game, so I guess he assumes that I want to attack or push up or something. That Hellion is going down. Here come more Locusts, now finally getting some damage in, and it doesn't matter if it's just 1 or 2 units you kill. You love seeing free kills with those Locusts, and just killing that Sentry, Zealot, maybe like a Stalker or 2. It's always fun, man. +2 attack on these Locusts brings them up to 14. These Hellions, man, so much damage, but losing so much to all these Locusts, they didn't need to do that. These tanks aren't sieged. 4 Vipers on the way. Are the Vipers going to come in time? If I can cloud all these tanks when they siege up, our Locust and Storm will be so damn effective. The Storm will be able to get in range, and obviously my Locust will as well. So Viper is kind of an interesting choice. I'm so gas heavy right now. I am just floating so many minerals. I could probably send it to my ally. And, oh, battles start moving in on siege. I've killed all of his battle Hellions. 3 tanks going down. Some SCVs going down. The Thor is taking some damage. Here comes Glon from the south side. South side? Dropping some storms. He needs some force fields. No, misses that second storm. Another wave of Locusts coming down. He's got some of his tanks siege, but he's not choosing to siege all of them. I'm going to full screen this so we can actually see what the hell's going on here. My base is about to go down here. Where the hell is Glon? Locust going to the right side, being force fielded by the Protoss player. They really want to wall off my base, and so they can take the 3rd base. And it looks like they will do just that. But some clouds after consuming my hatchery down there. You can see it's weak. Clouds going down on these tanks. Only a few of these tanks can fire. Every single tank is going to drop that's under the cloud. Meanwhile, the Roach is approaching from the bottom. Glon needs to throw some storms out on those Colossi. And is there any more energy on the Vipers? I don't know where the Vipers went, but this Protoss army is soaking up a lot of tank fire. Another round of Locusts coming as well. And it looks like with some nice clouds, we are going to be able to push this. And a little bit of poor decision making by our opponents. So that was really interesting. Cloud actually being utilized for once. They didn't really have a lot of anti-air, and the buff on the Viper's HP, it was really helpful. Vipers were just too squishy at 120, and giving them a 25% boost and boosting it up to 150 was really necessary. Are these Colossi going to get away? It looks like one of them will get away. And these Archons, man, so powerful. Nice upgrades from Glon. 2-2 to the 1-1 of the other Protoss player, and some Hellions still kind of running around. So somehow able to push that back. Now, when that actually happened during the game today, I wasn't really sure how it happened, and I think it's 3 things. 1, the Protoss army was kind of segregated. He was over on the right, while the Terran was up here. 2, the clouds were just really good. I mean, the Vipers came just in time, and I was fortunate to have that cloud ready. Almost killed my hatchery, actually, you'll see here, by consuming it. And 3, their initial push was very careless. They let my Locusts pick off, you know, maybe like 15 or 20% of their army before they even got in position. So I think a combination of those 3 things. Here's some more Stalkers just die. Why would you even bother kiting the Locusts? Just run. Don't kite. No. Run, dude. You're not going to do anything kiting Locusts. You're either in a position to destroy them all with siege or a critical number of Colossus, or you're not. There's not really any reason to kite Locusts because they're going to die anyway. Just run. And by kite, I mean like stutter step away. And here's another situation, sieging up to kill them when he should have just ran, wait for them to expire, and then siege up. Instead, he loses 3 tanks. And I mean, this kind of goes to show what a new unit can do. People aren't really used to it. They don't know how to fight against it. Once again, more free kills just for rallying in some dispensable units. I've got 6 Vipers just kind of hanging out here. Glon still going the gateway upgrade route. He's now 3-3, so that's pretty substantial. And here comes some Vipers. Am I going to cloud? No. I thought about clouding there, but I figured it was a little bit too late. I'll wait till the next wave. So as I saturate these bases, which is exactly what I'm doing, as you can see here, I'm going to be sending my Vipers up. Here comes some Stalkers, and here comes some Clouds. Oh my gosh, every single siege tank having to move. This allows freedom for my Locusts to move up, but now my Locusts are... Oh, it's a Pogo and a Colossus and a Thor! Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Tanks and Hellions being right into these Locusts. Meanwhile, Glon has taken down the orbital command up here, but look at the top right part of the map. They have taken every single base up there. And another Colossus being pulled in. This is what Vipers are good for. I mean, I know I undervalue Vipers a lot. I talk a lot of shit about them, but in this kind of situation, when you've got just forces trickling in like this, I think they synergize really well with Swarm Hosts. They allow you to get kills that you wouldn't otherwise get with the slow Locusts. So this is working out really well. Glon is content to just kind of hang out with me, let my forces just get free kills over and over and over. And meanwhile, the space not mining so well because there's some running Hellions running all over. But the problem is they do have the top right bases up and running, and we need to do something about that. And that's exactly what Glon's going to be doing, sending in some stray Zealots to take some out. More free kills coming down over here. I think I might have done a pull or two and might have missed it, but you kind of get the idea of what's happening. Here comes some more Vipers. These Locusts, they're kind of hitting the point where no amount of a fortification will be able to do anything against this number of Locusts. What are my upgrades at? Probably not the greatest. I remember not having a lot of evolution chambers, yeah. Just 1 evolution chamber. Telling Glon to go right. This is where I'm kind of noticing that they have a lot of forces to the right and some bases, and we really need to take that out. We've got the left side secured easily. There's no way they can push into my Swarm Host with this many Vipers. 2 Colossi dying just like that. And looks like Felix wants to try to move in from the right, but again, more. There we go. Now you just run. Just run, wait for them to expire, now go back in. That's how you do it. Glon with this 3-1-3 going to be taking out the right bases. And we got more Hellions running by. Got to learn the first time and then get some cannons down. We've got tanks being pressured once again by the Swarm Host. We got a battle over here. Oh my gosh, Glon versus Felix. Storm versus Colossi. Who's going to take this battle? Looks like Glon is pretty easily, actually. They both have really good upgrades. Now this base being torched by some Hellions. These Locusts getting in just fine. Not a lot left from the Terran player. If we check out the units tab, 37 Swarm Hosts, 9 Vipers. And, oh, we got another battle over here. Sorry about that. I'm not paying attention to the teal and red. Against just a few tanks and some standard gateway armies. Glon just kicking it into overdrive with his army production, man. It's insane. He's got a lot of stuff. Vipers still supporting these Swarm Hosts. Looks like he's going to be coming in and finishing off this base, going for the next 2 bases in the top right. And now we have... Oh, Protoss is going for it. My Swarm Host Locusts are out of position. I'm not really realizing it, losing a couple of Vipers, throwing down a Cloud, but that's not going to matter because I have nothing to attack them. And at this point, I'm like, oh shit, I don't have time to bring my Locusts back. I better just wait for another surge of them and then try to run away. Here comes the surge of Locusts. Lots of units going down. Oh, and a couple Colossi being pulled. Both of them going down. Oh my goodness, they're so freaking powerful. Swarm Hosts and Vipers are my new favorite unit combination. Should have been running with these guys a little bit sooner. Unfortunately, they're going to be neglected here in a second. You're about to see it. Burrow, Burrow, no! The reason they're being neglected is because I'm making 16 Ultras. So yeah, it's kind of good. 16 Ultras. Glon has destroyed every single base in the upper right. He's going to move in and clean up this Protoss Terran force. And able to get it done with just gateway units, exactly how I like it. I love Protoss partners who are able to do that. But a very interesting game, shows you the power of the Swarm Host even in 2v2, man. Get that early macro advantage, use the Swarm Host alongside with the Vipers late game, and I don't know what they could do. I mean, air was an obvious solution, but I mean, that was pretty sick, I gotta say. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Very fun 2v2 macro game. That's going to be it until Monday. Got a busy weekend. Love you long time. Sucky sucky.